Hi, my name is Jackie Murray with Ask a Tech Teacher, and I'm here to guide you through the 32 lessons in your structured learning technology curriculum. We're on lesson 2. If you haven't watched the overview and lesson 1, I strongly recommend you go back and look at those before you start this lesson. There are general overarching details I cover in both of those videos that will help you understand the entire curriculum. So pause me right here, go back and watch those, then come back. I'll still be here. Okay, you back? All right. So this is on digital tools in the classroom. This is a great chance to show students all of the variety of digital tools they'll be using, logins, accounts that they'll have, their digital portfolio or their um, LMS, whatever you're using in your school. This is the time to introduce that in concept to them. So vocabulary you'll use, all of these words, some of them are very familiar to students, taskbar and toolbar, right click, start button, maybe ribbons. Others, they're going to start getting used to, network maybe, or flying windows, those decode. So you start using them, and then if the students don't know them, they can ask you for help. You will, this lesson, be showing them how to decode words they don't know on the fly very quickly. So they could even do it that way. Problems you could expect them to solve. A lot of these they already know. The monitor doesn't work, shift doesn't work, too many, oh, what color? Okay, well, so those two, and there's more in this list that I use caps lock to capitalize a letter. Okay, so these they've already covered. A bunch of these. The rest are brand new. There are too many digital tools. Well, that's a problem, but how do you answer that? So be aware some of these you want to bring up to make sure students get them, and a lot of them the students will bring up themselves. Lots of scaffolded skills from last year, a few new ones. Logins kind of new, maybe not. Class website, annotation tools, maybe you had them annotate last year. Assessment strategies are here, a lot that are for every single lesson, really good assessment strategies that cover any lesson you're in, like join class conversation, left the room as they found it, habits of mind is observed, or depth of knowledge, whichever type of higher order thinking skills you use. You want to confirm that they used them today, followed directions, completed the exit ticket. A lot of these are fairly general, but they're a good to-do list. And if you have the student workbooks and you look here, they're right in the student's to-do list. So the student knows left station as it was. They know you're going to expect them to do that. Transferred knowledge from first grade. They're going to know that you're expecting them to do that. So they're right there for students to be aware of. All right, teacher prep, make sure these digital tools are available and ready to go for students. If you need more time than the 45 minutes that's allotted here, then know that and either find more time or downsize the lesson, whatever works right for you. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So this you've already gone over in kindergarten and first grade. Parts of the computer, but this time these assessments are at the end of the lesson, so you could ask students to take time right now to go to that assessment at the end of the lesson and fill it in with a partner. They can do it with a partner, they can do it by themselves, whatever you'd like, but they should know these parts. They should know probably 5 parts for their iPad. There's also one for the Chromebook at the end of the lesson. So they should know those from prior years, unless of course it's brand new to Chromebooks. Now, annotating in the PDF, there's a video in this video stream for this class that tells you how to do it. But real quickly, it's this: if you're using Adobe Reader or Adobe Acrobat Reader, it's real simple. Not terribly robust, but it does the job. You might use something else, Notability or iAnnotate, whatever your digital annotation tool is. That's what you'll be using. But let's say you have this one, so I'm going to go to fill and sign. That's the trickiest part of it. fill and sign doesn't sound like annotate. And then when you click that, you get these tools up here. And with these, you get the check mark where you can check off what you've completed. So you remind yourself, and then not check off the other things that you couldn't do. So then you know, okay, I never got to showing them the mouse. So I need to review that because that's a really important skill. You can go to this one and they can put notes. Remember this for next year. Put notes that to remind yourself. And they can too. Theirs is exactly the same. Here's the student workbook, and here's their fill and sign tool. So they do exactly the same way. If I click that, it comes up just exactly the same way for them. I'm going to close that. And then, so you're going to review that with them. Review, oh, I have to close this. It does limit you to one page, which I actually like. And then I'm going to close that, and then you're back to your entire document. Okay. Discuss the differences in digital tools. What's the difference between menu bars, toolbars, ribbons, taskbars, all that stuff here? And the students have their own samples over here. So what is the difference? Make sure they understand that, because you want them to call it a ribbon or a menu bar when it's words, and a taskbar when it's at the bottom of the page, bottom of the screen. Logins, keep track of their logins here or some other device, but this is the time to give them that way that they're going to track all their logins for different web tools, for devices, for programs that you use where they need a username and password. You don't want to be in charge of remembering them all. You can't. So it's their job. Now, of course, if they get stuck, if they just can't find it, you're going to be able to fix that for them, but you don't want to be their first line of defense. So review that with them. Desktop, review whichever desktop they have. Now we go into the digital tools they'll be using. Some of these you went over last year, and they used them all last year, so it'll go faster than it looks like. Student workbooks, if you have them, this is a great time to do it, to go over those. So I've got somewhere, I'm going to come up to class digital tools. There we go. And then the annotation tool, which if they used it last year, they're all ready. Student digital portfolios, they probably used last year. Class calendar, they probably used last year. Internet start page, same story. Class website may or may not be new. This is one you design, and they go there for information. Google Apps or Office 365. This may be new to them. This is a great time to get them into that, show them what it means. Then the general collection of web tools that they might use this year, you might have them all available to them, and not some of the new ones for second grade to get them excited. Vocabulary decoding tools, they're going to use whatever that method is that you use for second graders. You want them to be aware that they can do that. Here's how you can differentiate for if you go faster or slower, or some you just don't need some of the stuff, or some students don't need some of the stuff. So you can have those who finish go to the class internet start page and visit websites that tie into class conversations. You'll have a box of links there. I'll show you what that looks like on my site. It looks like this, where I have lots of extensions to learning for students. Over here are the ones we're using in class. Over here are themed. So if they finish the lessons activities, then you say, okay, you can go to anything under human body or anything under digital citizenship. And then students know these are all the sites they're allowed to go to. And that works really well. It keeps them busy, keeps them from bothering their neighbor, and they're learning. They're tying into other learning there. So it's a really good way to do it. Okay, and here's where you can take notes with your annotation tool. I think, and here's the templates at the end, a couple lesson plans for you. This one is really good. If you teach in a lab, this is for you. Because students come to your lab and they're used to thinking of, okay, I go to the lab and I do things a certain way. I go back to the classroom, I do things a different way. But this takes that tech you're teaching into their classroom. So they realize, okay, tech transfers to the library, to home, to my classroom, wherever it is. And this is your chance to show them how that works. So take all your tech and your geek and your digital devices and go into the classroom and ask the teacher there for 15 minutes. It'll probably take that long. And then take all their questions as you give them a quick overview and then ask them the questions. But we sit down and we can't get the computer to work. Well, what do you do? And discuss these things with them. And that's it, guys. All right. So go ahead. Let me know if you have questions. Add them to the discussion board or come see me during office hours on Sundays. I'd be real happy to talk to you. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great week. Bye.